So I've talked about this many times, but the camera on Surface Duo 2 has gotten a whole lot better since it first came out, and I find it to be absolutely, totally sufficient. I get some really nice shots on this thing, and it's fine. Is it equivalent to an S22 Ultra or a Pixel of some variety? No, it is not, but it is still absolutely fine, and I still get to have a dual screen phone, so it is good enough for me. But there's one thing about it that still does drive me a little bit crazy, and it gets in the way sometimes, and it is involving auto rotate. Let me kind of show you what I mean here real quick. When I open this thing up and I launch the camera fresh, you'll see that it launches relatively quickly, but there's one problem. When I rotate this thing, because I'm not normally taking pictures like this, I'm normally taking pictures like this. See how it wants to rotate everything? It doesn't actually really need to do this, and it takes time, right? And sometimes whenever it goes to do this, it's laggy and it's slow, and it can actually cause me, if I'm in a hurry, to potentially miss a shot waiting for this animation to do its thing. Now, one simple way to get around this is to just broadly turn off auto rotate on your device, and you'll see kind of what that does here. Let's just turn off auto rotate. And now whenever I rotate it, you'll see the only thing that rotates is the text there on like your different lenses. All of that stuff rotates, but nothing else does down here. And what's interesting about that is, like this, it still takes the picture in landscape. It knows how you're holding it, but it doesn't ask the second screen to rotate, right? And that has been just how I've been using my Duo. Now, the problem there is that auto rotate is turned off, and there are many situations wherein you might want auto rotate on. Let's say you want to use compose mode. Well, I'm gonna have to turn auto rotate back on now in order to use that for things to actually rotate. Today, I think I have a solution to this problem, and it is a little application called Tasker. We're going to go through setting up Tasker and then using it to make it so that auto rotate is turned off only in the camera app, which should allow me to have that better experience in the camera app that's quicker and just more nimble and in general more responsive, but also still have auto rotate on the rest of the device. The first thing you need to do, obviously, go to the Google Play Store and search for Tasker and go ahead and install that. Once it installs, we're going to open it up and go through that setup process. I don't actually know what the difference between Tasky and Tasker is. I think this is a new thing. We're going to go with Tasker, the full experience. Let's accept the terms. Accept. Let's allow it to draw over other apps. This is going to pop up here, and you're going to just simply search for Tasker, and we're going to allow it to display over other apps. We're going to go back. We're going to click the box here for battery optimization because we don't actually want the device trying to optimize the battery and shutting it down in the background. We're going to go and click the box for vendor-specific battery optimization. It just wants you to understand here, some devices have their own different kinds of optimizations, and it's going to pull up this web page that might be useful to you. In this instance, it is not useful because we are on a Surface Duo, and this does not apply to us. And then we're going to click this to disable helper notifications. Click on OK. Let's just turn off notifications altogether. And we can now proceed. You open the app back up, just hit stop reminding because it's going to keep telling that over and over. Okay, so Tasker is on there and we have actually set the thing up. Now we're going to go to our web browser, and I will link to this in the description down below, but this is basically a list of pre-made scripts. If you don't know what Tasker is, basically, enterprising individuals can create a script and then load it into Tasker, and Tasker will run these scripts. Bixby can kind of do some similar things, but this is much more flexible than even Bixby can do on Samsung. So we're going to scroll down here until we see auto rotate, and it'll say auto rotation apps. Now, if you click on this, it says automatically turn on auto rotate for certain apps of your choosing and off for all others. Now, we're going to kind of modify this slightly to make this work because obviously that's backwards from what we want. We're going to click on import, and then we're going to click on import again, and then Tasker should grab that. Just log in with whatever email address you're using there. Import data. You're about to import a profile named Auto Rotation Apps for Tasker. Are you sure? Blah, 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 blah. We're going to click on yes. It says we need app usage stats. Click on OK. We're going to give Tasker allowed there and go back. Go back again. Right system settings, we need to hit OK again. Let's tick that box. It needs a lot of permissions. I'm sorry, but it has to be able to change system settings. We're going to just add it to base. Don't worry about whatever this means. Just click on base for now. Select which apps you want to have auto rotate enabled. Now I know it's enabled still. We're going to fix that. Let's click on OK. Going to load up your apps. We are going to select my camera app and go back. You want to enable it right away. Let's hit yes. Okay, now we're going to click on it. We're going to click on this bit of text here and we're going to modify some things here, right? So see how it says display auto rotate set on? We're going to click on that and we're going to change it to set off. Then this text, tasker turned on auto rotate. Maybe we can go in and change this to off auto rotate just in case we want to have it do that. Okay, cool. We're going to come down here where it says stop. We're going to change status to on and go back. Then we're going to change text to flash here, tasker turned on auto rotate, because again, we're reversing all this. This is mostly just visual. And then also make sure this bottom one is changed from off to on. Once all that is done, you're going to click on the check mark up there. Okay, just make sure, look at this screen, look at this, make sure yours looks exactly like that. Okay, and then when you're done, click the check mark and you should be good. Let's test it. So let's grab the Duo here. Let's go home and let's go home. And you will see here that auto rotate is in fact turned on. We can rotate and everything is just fine. Whenever I launch the camera app, it should say tasker turned off auto rotate, and you'll see that in fact it is correct. It is off. Let's go back home, and then almost immediately it is turned back on and we are rotating. This is working absolutely perfectly. So now I can have auto rotate be on when I want it and everything else, but off in the one app that I don't want it to be running on, which is the camera app, because that animation can be sluggish and slow and can make me miss my shots. Now, if there are other apps that you think fit the bill for this, you can add them in that first step there. When we're first doing that, you can actually add those things in and make multiple apps also behave the same way as the camera app is now behaving. So there you go, guys. I haven't played a lot with Tasker, but that's a pretty cool function for this thing to have, in my humble opinion. I'm going to play around with Tasker some more because there are some other interesting scripts on this website that we're going to want to potentially look into. So let me know if you thought this was interesting, and if you want to see more like this, again, comment down below, guys. I'll see you on the next one, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.